All right, let me figure out. I'm gonna get the ladder up there. I'm gonna just stick it right through. Don't worry, I'm gonna hold it, Riv. It's not gonna move. Okay? River, one right behind your head. Huge one.
Papa, I could get right there because there's a huge one right there. There's one pretty big.
Okay, we gotta give Zoe a turn, okay?
It has a hole in it.
Okay.
Gonna go a little higher. Hold on to me tight.
Oh, that looks good. I'm Conor Crickmore, and I moved from the city to the country to become a farmer and to explore that connection between my food and the natural world. I am passionate about growing. I not only grow for the community, but also for my family. When it's time for us to eat, I gather the ingredients from our family garden and around the farm. I then cook it at our barn. Follow along through that entire journey as I plant seeds in my garden and care for the plants as they grow. Come with me on the final harvest and through the preparation of the family meal. Learn to grow and cook with simple methods with the food you grew yourself. This is Seed to Plate at Neversink Farm. Each episode we follow one vegetable from seed to harvest to plate. And this time it is my seasonal favorite, celeriac. Celeriac takes a whole season to grow to maturity, but it is definitely worth the wait. In the meantime, me and the family will get together to make raspberry wine. This will be our first time at this, but regardless of how it turns out, it should be great fun. While the wine ferments, I will use the baby celeriac for a great lunch that I will slow roast in the wood-fired oven. When the celeriac is ready to harvest, I'm going to gather the rest of the ingredients for a great meal. I'm going to cook down at the barn. Let's get to growing. So we're here at the farm and it's winter, snow on the ground. And there's not a lot of things that you start really, really early, but certainly celeriac is one of them. Celeriac takes a very, very long time, but it's worth it. It's one of my favorite vegetables. It's so versatile. So I'm willing to water these seedlings for a few months, because that's really what it's going to take. Because they're not going to go into the ground until we pass the frost in May here at the farm. The only other things that we'd be growing at this time is onions and tomatoes, maybe some peppers. It's just that early. And that's because celeriac not only grows slowly, but it takes a long time to germinate, and that's really the trick. And so I'm going to start it in this, what's really called a 50 tray. That's just because it has 50 cells. I'm just leaving a lot of room so that if they do get slightly big in the tray, it's not a big deal, because I'm not going to pot these on. I'm going to plant them straight into here. And the reason I'm planting so many is because it's such a great storage crop. I could keep it in the root cellar for few months after I harvest it, so I can eat these all winter long. So I'm gonna fill up the tray, just some regular potting soil. And I'm gonna dibble. In terms of variety, I don't think it much matters. I like to use an organic seed. But what I do like is a pelleted. Celeriac seeds are tiny. So this makes it a hell of a lot easier, right? Because even the pelleted are so tiny. But this is going to make it a lot easier to seed a big tray like this, 50. Now a little trick to just getting one per is just roll it off your finger, right, until one drops out. And then you just roll again until you get to the edge. So I can grab a few seeds, you know, 4 or 5 in there, and then I'm just rolling one off. You get really good, you can plant the whole tray very, very fast, right? And as you're doing it, you just think about really yummy celeriac soup. And then you're just gonna cover them up, and you just put some soil on top. And then with your hand, just boom, all done. Then we're gonna get this watered, and we're gonna get it on some heat. Front of the windowsill is fine, maybe a heating pad. And remember, it's gonna take a long time to germinate, so don't give up. It may take as much as 2 weeks before you start seeing them. All right, so check out our celeriac starts. It's been 10, 12 weeks since we put them in the tray, and they've been growing nicely and they're ready to go out, right? You can see we have a beautiful, nice start. And celeriac takes a long time, so it's great we got a good start. Things are looking really, really good, and we're gonna get them in the ground so that, you know, I'm still thinking about celeriac soup, and I'm really hoping we can get some really nice celeriac this year. So you know what we're gonna plant? Celeriac. Yeah, it's like the big thing that we cut up. Sometimes make soup and roast it. It's really yummy. Yeah. So we're gonna plant that here. You know the 3x3 grid? The gritter? Yeah. You wanna grab that? Yeah. All right. So while River gets the tool to lay out the spacings, celeriac's a heavy feeder, so I'm just going to make sure that we put down some fertilizer for it. Doing a good job, dude. I put the strings so it's easier. Okay, so you want to pull it? Beautiful, man. All right. So if I put it down, you're going to push it in? Fantastic. Okay. So we're going to need one at every corner. Yep. Make a nice big hole. Beautiful, Riv.
Or you can do the other side.
Okay, I'll do this side and you do that side. Sound good. Nice deep hole, dude. All right, Riv, so we'll come back in a few weeks and we'll see how they're doing. Yeah. Cool? Cool. All right, man. So you know what we're gonna do today?
Raspberries. raspberry.
But why are we picking raspberries?
Because we're making raspberry wine.
Nice. That's exactly right. Now remember, you can eat as many raspberries as you want, but you have to fill the bowl eventually. That's the goal. If you fill the bowl, we'll have enough for the wine. All right? All right, let's do it. We're never gonna fill the bowls.
River threw a raspberry at you.
Yeah, I did. Where did he hit me?
I don't know. He just
Right there. Come on, guys. Big, so many raspberries, right?
One of the raspberries I ate. Hi guys, we're making some. Hi guys, we're gonna make some juice.
All right, so what we're gonna do, guys, is if you guys help me squeeze the raspberries into here to make raspberry juice, I'm gonna add a little warm water, and hopefully the natural yeast on the raspberries is gonna start the fermentation process. And
How do you know if it's turning into the fermentation box?
we should get some foam on top. We should get bubbles, and then we know that it's working. The yeast is alive, and it's eating the sugar. So if you want to know, what you want to do is pick it up and just squeeze it before you put it in. Just give it a nice squeeze. There you go. Get it in the bucket, Riv. In the bucket. I'll hold your bowl for you.
No, let's do
So I'm gonna leave these raspberries with a little warm water to hopefully start fermenting with the natural yeast. I'm just gonna put it down, I'm gonna cover it, and I'm just gonna leave it for a few days. Hopefully we'll see something happening. It is a very exciting day, and that's because the celeriac is finally starting to bulb up. It's been many, many weeks. It's a patient vegetable to grow. You have to wait, and it's certainly not ready for a final harvest. But we're just starting to get bulbs, and I can't wait any longer. I'm not gonna wait another month to eat it. So I have something really wonderful planned for lunch, just using these little baby celeriacs. And I'm just gonna grab a few of them, and then I'm gonna grab some herbs. I'm gonna bring them down to the barn, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna make, and it's going to be amazing. So we have these beautiful baby celeriacs. I couldn't wait any longer to harvest them because we're not going to have full-size celeriac for many more weeks, way into the fall. But we can make something really beautiful right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them up, then I'm going to roast them in the oven for a few hours until they're really tender and caramelized on the outside. And they're going to look really beautiful. To go along with that, I'm going to put together a simple but delicious dipping sauce with mayonnaise, some herbs from the garden, lemon, and it's going to be delicious. First, I get the celeriac root cleaned up. Then cover with olive oil, fresh rosemary, salt, and pepper. Put everything in a foil pouch. And slide into a very hot oven. So while the celeriac is roasting in the oven, I'm going to make a beautiful little dipping sauce. And hopefully you've made your mayonnaise with the eggs from your chickens fresh, as I did. And use some herbs from the garden, which I'm going to use a little bit of thyme, parsley, and I'm actually going to decorate it with a bit of the celeriac tops, which I think are just going to add that wonderful celery flavor. The base to this sauce is homemade mayonnaise, but store-bought is fine. To separate the thyme leaves from the stem, I chop them and get them into a bowl. To that I add chopped parsley and green onion. Then finish with fresh lemon juice, salt, and pepper. The celeriac has been roasting in the oven for a bit longer than an hour, and they are perfect. Once the celeriac is tender, out of the oven it goes. Plate and dress with chopped celeriac tops, green onion, and olive oil. How wonderful does that look? Baby roasted celeriac with a mayo dip with herbs from the garden. You know, we have a few more weeks to go until we get the large, fully developed roots, but this is certainly going to tie me over. Maybe. That is great. So it's been a few days, and magically the yeast that naturally occurs on the raspberries is starting to bubble and it's starting to ferment. And I'm going to finish the fermentation in a carboy and just filter it out. Celeriac is in the ground a really long time, and so while they're growing you feel, what can I do to kind of ensure that I'm going to have a nice, big, wonderfully tasting celeriac root? And there are a few things you can do. One of the things you want to do is just keep it weed free, because you don't want them to have competition. Competition is going to steal nutrients and it's going to steal water, and that's not a good thing. You want to get in there when the weeds are small, or even before weeds appear, and cultivate. In between the rows, use whatever cultivator you have. I like a wire weeder or a collinear hoe, and I'll come in there and cultivate them. The second thing you want to do is at least once a month, if not more often, just give them a little bit of fertilizer. Good thing to give them is some chicken pellets. And chicken pellets are good because they do have potassium in them, and potassium is going to help root development. And on top of that, put a little compost. If you have some well-rotted, nice compost, put that on top of the chicken pellets, and they're going to be happy. The last thing you want to do is water. Make sure they get enough water, at least about 1 inch per week, if not up to about 2 inches a week. You want the soil to stay moist, not waterlogged, right? You don't want it to let it dry out, because soil that is dried out is going to have a lot less nutrients in it, because the biology in the soil is going to dip. All right, so follow those things: cultivate, fertilize, water, and you should have some great celeriac come the fall. The juice has been in this carboy for just a few days, and this morning I came out and it had just stopped bubbling. It was beautiful for a few days. It was just all these little tiny bubbles were coming up, you know, as the yeast was eating the sugars. And now you can see all the yeast has fallen to the bottom, as well as a bunch of sediment. And so it's ready for bottling. So what I'm going to do is what's called racking, which is just taking the liquid out of the carboy and putting it in a bottle and trying to avoid getting that sediment in. But tell me, this isn't such a beautiful color. It's just gorgeous. I hope it tastes as good as it looks. Well, it smells yeasty. It smells like raspberries.
I'm nervous. I don't know why, but I'm nervous because I'm worried it's not gonna taste good. I think it's great. I think it's pretty good for, you know, just me and the family getting together, squishing some raspberries and putting it in a bucket. I think it's actually not bad. I think it probably needs some time. I think it needs some time in the bottle, but yeah, not bad. Oh, perfect, Zoe. Ready? Okay, you want to bring me another bottle? Finally harvest day for the celeriac, and I couldn't be more excited. It's been so long since we put that seed in a pot back in the winter, and it's fall now. It's been many, many months, and they're finally sizing up, and I can't wait any longer. And I'm gonna make a great meal that I've been thinking about all summer. A nice, cheesy, creamy fall gratin and a fall salad. It's gonna be great, and I know my kids are gonna love it. So for the cheesy, creamy gratin, I'm just gonna add some leeks and some onions. And for the herbs, it's gonna be some rosemary, and I have some bay leaves growing over in one of the high tunnels. For the fall salad, some red cabbage, lettuce, and some of those great carrots we got growing. And I'm gonna add a little chive sour cream dressing to it. All right, one of you is gonna have to move. Perfect. Main dish that I'm gonna cook is a leek and celeriac gratin. When the weather starts getting cold in the fall, it's just the dish you want. It's got cream and cheese, and I'm gonna bake it slowly in the oven, and I know my kids are just gonna love it. I first get these monster leeks chopped. Don't worry about your chopping style. When it's from your garden, it's all good.
butter, a couple of bay leaves, and onto the stove. With some fresh rosemary. I gotta add some of those celeriac greens to the leeks just because. Now the celeriac. About a 1/4-inch slices work well. Add cream and a pinch of salt. Grate the cheese, and here you can use your favorite. I am going with Gruyere. I like to layer my gratin. Celeriac, leeks, and cheese, then repeat. Salt and pepper, and then the final cheesing that will hopefully brown while cooking.
Now I'm gonna make a salad with some crispy cabbage and fresh lettuce from the garden. Top it with some fritters made with onions, carrots, and the star celeriac. Then I'm gonna dress it with sour cream, lemon, and chives mixed together. Oh my God, it's gonna be great.
Right now is the peak of the season here at the farm. Today, everything is healthy, growing, and producing beautifully in the vegetable garden. The flowers all seem to be in bloom at the same time, waving in the breeze as butterflies grab their nectar. The weather is gorgeous. It is raining sunshine down upon me as I cook, and demands I take as much time as I can to enjoy this day. Today is to be savored and eaten slowly as the season will soon end. Fall is just around the corner, and tomorrow the snow flurries may come, and the wilting will certainly begin. The plants will start to lose their vigor and die. Frost is on its way to nip the flowers and brown the leaves and finish all the veg. Today is our chance to cook and celebrate being together with all that nature has offered in our small garden. Today is ours. What do you think of this, guys?
I can't see what's on top.
Yummy fried fritters.
If I really want to eat
The dressing is sour cream and chives and lemon. And we'll put a little extra there. Oh! Oh my God. I love celeriac, and it's a rare treat because it takes so long to grow, but you're well rewarded by doing so. Growing your own food, making wine, and being able to share that experience with your family is just so incredible. Cheers. Cheers.
Remember when our songs were just like prayer,
I like it a lot.
like gospel.
What do you like better,
hymns that
River?
you call in
The
here.
cheesy, creamy celeriac or the celeriac
Come
fritter?
down, come
The
down,
Celeriac
sweet
fritter.
until my simple house and rain.
While we finish up our meal, why don't you head over to neversinkfarm.com for more information on growing your own vegetables.